I'm Katharina Pistor. I'm a professor at Columbia Law School where I teach corporations, law and development, and law and finance. I'm the author of the Code of Capital, How the Law Creates Wealth and Inequality. And I recently published my new book, The Law of Capitalism and How to Transform It. Capitalism is a system that facilitates the use of social resources, such as the legal system and the money system, to create private power and wealth. And capitalist law is the legal system that facilitates this. And how does it do this? Capitalist law is structured so it empowers individual actors vis-à-vis the collective. You also have access to the consolidated means of coercion to defend your rights or to push back against others who might challenge your positions, right? And the third feature is legal arbitrage, which is a strategy to not evade the law, but avoid its consequences by finding ways to use gaps in the laws or frictions between different legal systems. That gives you a lot of powerful tools to advance your position in the system. I've always struggled with the question of how social systems transform themselves and when they do and when they should do this perhaps. And so I was trying to find ways in which we could think about how to create a superior system, a more socially equitable system. My hope is that readers will take away 2 points. One is a deep dive again into the system that we currently live with and what is difficult and problematic about this. So I devote several chapters to what is essentially again a critique of the system that we have. But at the same time, I also want to say one can change the system and there are strategies for doing this. I can't give you an institutional blueprint or a utopia. What I'm giving you as guidance is that, first of all, there are a lot of legal institutions that already exist that you can use to move along. And second, that if we just tweak our ideas about what is really important and try to realize this not only for ourselves, but also for our neighbors and others, that we could actually go a long way. I happen to believe that the system is not sustainable, so we have to think about something new. If you look at income disparities, wealth disparities, I don't think it is legitimate anymore to say, there's no alternative, we just have to deal with it. The system has kind of run its course to a point that I think we have to confront many of its crises. And so we can also think at least how to reimagine it, or we can think about processes that might change the system. You can't ever create a tabula rasa. You can't ever say we start from scratch. You have to think about how you can internally, through the system itself, create something new. And I think there is actually also a lot of hope. There are many elements, many openings in the legal system where we could start engineering change without having to go to Congress. We don't have to lobby for legal change. We can take the law as is and reinterpret it in a different way, just as capitalism has done it for itself for centuries. The legal system doesn't work like a marionette, like a puppet that you can pull some strings and then the entire system reacts. But I think it has been shaped in a way that benefits some players more than others, and they know also how to use it. Strategic actors who know how to play it can push parts of the legal system to their advantage. It's pushing the burden of fighting the system onto typically the weaker parts, because they don't have the resources and the lawyers to write these contracts. And so they're basically the objects of governance, but they're no longer subjects and really structuring their own relations. That is one of the ways in which we create inequality in society, because we're not actually equals. We are formally equal before the law, but if you have better resources and know how to use the law, you're much more equal than I am. The idea would be we have to push at many, many different points at the same time, but we also have to push in a similar direction. So what I'm basically arguing, what we need is like a consensus about the normative principles that we want to achieve. For me, the key thing is really the money system, thinking about how to mobilize funds and financial resources to create new firms, different types of financial intermediaries, so that people in our environment can actually not just be better off, but they also have more respect for themselves and for others in their societies, because we're together trying to build something new. It's, you know, no highway to change, but I think that's the way that societies have always changed, and so we have to reinvent that.